forecast first on Color 10 News Ozarks First.
We had lots of sunshine today and beautiful conditions. 61 was our high today here in Springfield. 57 down in Branson and 57 in West Plains. However, it is turning chilly right now. Temperatures at 39 here in Springfield. Winds coming out of the north and making it feel just a little bit colder. We got a couple of clouds sticking around, mainly in our northwestern counties. Those clouds will continue to progress through the rest of the Ozarks through the overnight hours, and temperatures are only going to drop into the lower 30s instead of the upper 20s like they did last night. Here's what we're looking at. A chilly Sunday. Temperatures won't even make it out of the 40s tomorrow. A mild start to the week. I have your Christmas Eve and your Christmas Day forecast and rain chances in my 7-day. Details on all that coming up in just a few minutes. Color 10 News at 10 starts now.
Now, from Ozarks First, you're watching Color 10 News at 10.
Well, for the first time in 10 years, the Springfield chapter of the NAACP has a new president. Welcome to Color 10 News at 10. I'm Crystal Blair. Tony Robinson was sworn in last night at the historic Washington Avenue Baptist Church, and our Jesse Inman was there for the changing of the guard. Jesse?
Yeah, Crystal, Cheryl Clay has been the president of the NAACP for about a decade, and she was born and raised here in Springfield, but she says Springfield is in good hands with her 25-year-old successor.
I met Tony when she was still a student at Evangel.
From their longtime Springfield chapter NAACP president, Cheryl Clay, says Tony Robinson did some great work for the community. Robinson took the initiative to watch and learn from the woman at the helm.
Tony's been shadowing me for a year, and we go to a lot of meetings together, and she asks questions that I might not have normally asked. She brings a different perspective to the table, and I think that's what we need right now.
Robinson says she hopes to continue what Clay started in helping Springfield further embrace diversity.
I feel like this is a college town. It's going to attract a lot of people, and I'm hoping that helps retention, especially for students of color. To stay in the area, to diversify the area. I am very grateful to Cheryl and her leadership for the last 10 years. It means an immense amount to be able to follow in her footsteps.
Robinson says she'll be ready to get right to work.
Visibility is going to be my first thing. Upgrading or transforming our platforms on social media, the website, and so forth, so that they're more operable and understandable. Navigating is easier for everyone. Right now, I feel like that's kind of an obstacle for us as far as getting information out.
Now, Robinson will take over officially on January 1st, and Cheryl Clay isn't going too far as she'll stay on as an assistant secretary for the organization.
All right, thank you, Jesse. In a follow-up story tonight, a Springfield man has been charged in connection with the burglary that took place at the Essex Place Apartments on December 13th. 19-year-old Malik Sutton has been charged with second-degree robbery. The news leader is reporting on December 13th, Sutton was a part of a group who attacked a man at the apartment complex, demanding money and drugs. 3 people were involved in the crime. $300 were allegedly stolen from a woman's purse. The group fled, but the victim of the robbery then fired shots off the balcony of the apartment, striking one. Sutton and another man got away. Sutton was booked into a Greene County jail Wednesday night and is being held for $25,000 bond. The person who was shot has not been charged at this time. Another story from earlier in the year, the Missouri Ethics Commission has fined Greene County Presiding Commissioner Bob Surton and the Invest in Greene County Political Action Committee $4,300. The Springfield News Leader is reporting that Surton and the PAC were found to have participated in 6 counts of campaign finance violations that occurred during the 2017 push to get Greene County voters to approve a new half-cent general revenue tax. The Missouri Ethics Commission found that Surton signed and deposited about $22,000 in campaign checks back in 2017, even though he did not serve as treasurer for that committee, which the commission says is against the law. That tax hike passed with almost 60% of the vote. Former state rep Bob Dixon was elected as new county commissioner in January. Well, Republic Police arrested a man suspected of running a scam costing people several $1,000s each. Now they want to hear from any possible victims. Republic Police say he operated under several business names, including Show Me Bow Fishing, Black Oak Outfitters, Broken Oak Outfitters, and 417 BHTV. Now, victims paid big bucks to hunt with an expert, but when it came time for the event, that man disappeared. Formal charges are pending, so the man's name is being withheld. Now, if you've been a victim of this scam, Republic Police are asking you to contact them at area code 417-732-3989. Now in a story that scores a 10. The Harlem Museum of West Plains is right now celebrating all things Christmas with a special Christmas-themed model train. Photojournalist Eric Redis takes you there to give you a special look.
If it wasn't for the railroad, the Ozarks would not have developed the way it was. And because the major stop was in West Plains, within a couple years, West Plains grew 7 times over. Doing the history of the railroad, I had my son last year build a model railroad for me to, to kick it off, have something for the kids to see and the parents. And it makes a nice Christmas fun time. This train behind me started out to be my home Christmas garden. It was 4 by 8, and they took it over and enlarged it to 20 by 8. Years ago, all the little boys, instead of getting electronic equipment, got model trains. So most of the grandparents today grew up with a train under their Christmas tree, and they asked Santa for a train. And it's been passed down through the generations, so it just makes a nice Christmas display under the Christmas tree. We will run this clear through the holidays till the 30th of December. This is really a neat thing, and the kids love it, and the adults alike. And it's just a nice Christmas part of our history.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Well, it's an event that happens every year across the nation, but Tuba Christmas has its roots right here in the Ozarks. Photojournalist Tim Limecooler brings you the sounds coming out of the Fox Theater on the square.
Tuba Christmas is an event that happens all around the world in almost every major city, and we've been having one in Springfield for several years now. This is the 45th year in Springfield. I think it's the 6th year I've been coordinating it, and we have about 40 people from all over the state, and even as far as Cheyenne, Wyoming, that have come to play with us today. We rehearse prior to the rehearsal in a couple hours, and then play at the same day. This event was actually started by a man named Harvey Phillips, who is from Aurora. And he eventually made his way to New York City and was in the New York Philharmonic. So it's kind of neat to have this event here because the roots are in the Ozarks. We have euphonium players, tuba players, and even baritone players, and this is truly a community event. There are people here that are students as young as 12, and instructors, professionals. It really is where the low brass community can come together and play beautiful Christmas music. Plus, it's just fun. You can't take it too seriously. But it's great music. Like, we actually have a really good group this year.
Well, in political coverage tonight, President Trump and Senate Democrats are digging in their heels over funding for a border wall, and now the federal government is partially shut down. Nicole Killian has the latest from Washington.
Senate stands adjourned until 11 a.m. on Monday.
The Senate adjourned for the Christmas holiday without reaching a deal to end the partial government shutdown.
Roughly 25% of the government shut down because of one person and one person alone. President Trump.
President Trump is refusing to sign any spending bill that does not include $5 billion in funding for a border wall. The president tweeted, "The crisis of illegal activity at our southern border is real and will not stop until we build a great steel barrier or wall. Let work begin." Without a deal, 9 federal agencies, including Homeland Security, State, and the Justice Department, are now closed. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he will not hold any more votes until a bipartisan agreement is reached.
We pushed the pause button until the president, from whom we will need a signature, and Senate Democrats, from whom we will need votes, reach an agreement. No procedural votes, no test votes.
Vice President Pence was on Capitol Hill Saturday trying to make a deal with Senate Democrats, but little progress was made.
President Trump is demanding billions of dollars for an expensive, ineffective wall that the majority of Americans don't support.
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers caught in the middle will have to work without pay until both sides reach a compromise that could take days or weeks. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
I said, Jesus, please keep me, just keep me so I can get to my children.
Well, coming up next, we take a look at the stories which have had the biggest impacts in the Ozarks. Color 10 News will be right back. Well, the end of the year is near, and we want to share with you some of the top big stories we covered this year. Our Frances Lynn reviewed our 2018 year, and she looks back with us on the past 12 months.
Starting off early this year, an unusual fatality when 6 contracted crew members were fixing a tower 105 feet in the air when it fell down.
We were conducting some tower enforcement modifications to comply with some FCC changes to channels.
In politics, former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens resigned after accused sexual misconduct and computer tampering allegations.
I cannot allow those forces to continue to cause pain and difficulty to the people that I love.
President Donald Trump visited Springfield.
Hello, Missouri. I'm thrilled to be back in the American heartland. I love you people.
And Josh Hawley defeated Claire McCaskill for the Senate seat.
This is your victory tonight. It's your victory. You've earned it.
Also on Election Day, people voted to legalize medical marijuana, making Missouri the 31st state to do so.
Getting them off of opiates for pain relief and getting them on medical marijuana, a lot of which is not psychoactive, but it'll help them with the pain relief.
There were also a couple of court cases worth mentioning this year. Nicholas Godejohn's trial, where he was found guilty of first-degree murder of 48-year-old Dee Dee Blanchard, mother of his ex-girlfriend, Gypsy Blanchard.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Nicholas Godejohn, guilty of murder in the first degree.
He was sentenced to life in prison. Another notable court case from earlier this year, a man from Dallas County, Brad Jennings, spent 10 years in prison for his wife's murder. This year, he walked free when uncovered evidence led a judge to release him.
How hard was it to not give up hope?
It was hard. You wonder sometimes if anything will ever happen, you know. But we made it.
And now he's suing the investigators who put him behind bars. On to weather-related accidents. Back on Super Bowl Sunday, 2 people were killed in a multi-vehicle crash on I-44. Victims shared their experience.
Cars were flying by me on the left lane. And I told my wife, this isn't going to be good because it's a whiteout.
And we won't forget Deputy Aaron Roberts, who died during a flood when his patrol car was pulled into the water.
I live in that area, and if you're not exactly familiar with those roadways, it's easy to be fooled.
And the last story on our Color 10 biggest stories of the year, the duck boat tragedy that happened in the summer.
I said, Jesus, please keep me, just keep me so I can get to my children. Keep me, Lord. And I was swimming as fast as I could. And I could not reach the life jackets.
Tia Coleman lost 9 family members in the accident and told me who they were, starting with her sister-in-law.
She was there with her 13-year-old and her soon-to-be 3-year-old. I was there with my husband and our 3 children, who were 9, 7, and 1. My in-laws were there, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and the uncle who lives with them.
Coleman says they were told they didn't need life jackets. And that concludes our top 10 stories of Color 10 2018. Frances Lynn, Ozarks First.
Well, it was great outside today, but how are the next few days looking?
Well, today was beautiful. We got to reach a high of 61 here in Springfield. Temperatures will drop through the overnight, and they're not going to rebound a whole lot into tomorrow. Chillier temperatures are on the way. Details coming up right after the break.
Now weather with meteorologist Beth Finello.
We started off today chilly, 31 degrees here in Springfield, 32 in Branson, and 28 in West Plains. Thankfully, with lots of sunshine, temperatures were able to top off at 61 here in Springfield, 57 in West Plains, and 57 in Branson. Things are quiet across the radar, looking at maybe a shower or two up at Lake of the Ozarks with just a couple of clouds sticking around in our northwestern counties. These clouds will continue to move through the Ozarks through much of the overnight hours. Temperatures right now 39 here in Springfield, 41 down in Branson, and 35 up in Rolla, with winds coming out of the north, making it feel just a little brisk out there, with feel-like temperatures at 35 in Springfield and 29 up in Rolla. Now, the biggest story for tomorrow is the temperature change. Today, we reached a high of 61. Tomorrow, we're not going to get out of the 40s. Here's why. Our winds are going to shift. They're going to come out of the north, bringing in a colder air mass. The winds will continue to come out of the north throughout much of the day on Sunday. Then the winds shift coming out of the south for the start of your day on Monday. That means temperatures will climb back up into the 50s for your Monday, even though the winds will be pretty gusty through the day. It will not be as chilly as it's going to feel into tomorrow. So through the overnight hours, we could have a flurry or two in our northeastern counties, but maybe just a flurry or two. No more than that, and temperatures will drop into the lower 30s. Now, we're going to see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, but because the winds are going to be coming out of the north, bringing in that colder air mass, temperatures are really going to struggle to get out of the 40s. Then through the overnight hours, they will drop again into the lower 30s, and then by the beginning of your day on Monday, temperatures will be around the 30-degree mark. But because those winds still very brisk out there, it'll feel like about 26 starting out your day tomorrow, and it'll be pretty chilly throughout much of the day on Sunday. Then again, those winds, like I showed you, are shifting out of the south for Monday, and that's where they will stay throughout much of the week. So temperatures will top off in the 50s through Thursday. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, we are going to see some rain chances, and behind that system, that's where temperatures will drop on Friday. So here's the rain chances I was talking about for the next 7 days. Things will be quiet in the beginning of the week, and that will change Wednesday and Thursday with that next rain. Now, we could see a sprinkle or two Christmas Eve, but we're not looking at a total washout for Christmas Day. This is as close as we're going to get to snow, too, because it's going to be mild with temperatures in the lower 50s and partly cloudy conditions. Here's that system that I was just talking about bringing rain Wednesday and Thursday. We're keeping an eye on it. We could see a strong to severe storm pop up out of this with maybe some thunder and some gusty winds. And behind it, that's where winter is, because it's coming. It's going to be cold. Look at that high on Friday, 43. It's going to be very chilly next weekend.
Wow, 37 on Saturday. All right. Thanks so much, Beth.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back with sports.
Now Sports with Matt Bereen.
For the Missouri State men, home is more than just where the heart is. It's also where the wins are. In our Bear Nation report, the Bears 4-0 at JQH, but 0-7 on the road coming into today. Lucky for them, today's matchup against Arkansas Pine Bluff taking place right here in Springfield. Not only that, it was Springfield native Jared Ritter's first home game as a Bear and gets his first start to boot. But he was just one of many stories today. Story 1, Ryan Krecklow. The opening Bears basket belongs to him for 3. Bears up 3-2 early. Later in the half, Krecklow again. This time rides a lucky bounce through the net for a 21-13 lead. Story 2, turnovers. Bears forced 14 in the first half, including this one capped off by the slam from Tulio da Silva. And story 3 was 15 assists on the day from Josh Webster. And get this, he did it with 0 points. The man was a team player today, and that brings me to story 4, Da Silva's dunk show. Here, Webster feeds him for the alley-oop. Bears up 36-25. Then Webster again with a nice feed to Da Silva, who slams it home again for the Bears. 17-point lead from Missouri State, and finally, then Ritter gets involved. In front of the home crowd, the no-look assist from Webster. Ritter finishes it off. And just moments before the buzzer, another no-look from Webster. Ritter drains the triple in the closing seconds. He had 7 points in his first home game. State up 54-32 at the break. Second half, back to work. Krecklow from the parking lot. He was 5 for 6 from 3 today, 18 points total. And then Keandre Cook got close to that mark. He had 17. Nice dunk here on another one of Webster's 15 assists. But the scoring crown went to Da Silva. He hits 22 points on the reverse dunk, which he called his favorite of the day. Missouri State stays undefeated at home, 93-72 dominant win. Afterwards, the team touched on the home magic that's really serving as a double-edged sword.
It's a little frustrating. I mean, I think at halftime, Craig was saying, like, why can't we just play like this on the road and stuff like that, because it is frustrating. But you just gotta stay in the moment, really take game by game, and then when we take care of home court like we've been doing all season, when we get that chance to go on the road again, we just gotta do the things that got us to that point at home and just try to bring it to the road. I mean, it's the same game as basketball, but it's some different atmosphere and stuff like that. But you just gotta play it.
And that was just the start of the headlines from this game. Jared Dixon, you just heard, hit a big milestone today as he reached 1,000 career points for the Bears. Dixon received a standing O from the crowd after hitting the final mark in the final minutes. Afterwards, he talked again about what the achievement means to him as his time as a Bear enters its final chapter.
It's a blessing really to get to that. Not many people get to that. It wasn't something I really thought of until it was coming close. There's people close to me who were saying you needed this many points. But I'm glad I got it out of the way, so now I can just really focus on the team and stuff. So it was definitely a blessing.
So awesome, 1,000 points. Anytime you score 1,000 points in college, you are a really, really good player. And I'm proud of JD because it's not easy being a senior getting a new coach.
And that brings me to the final story from this game. While a lot of guys played a part in the win, Obadiah Church was not one of them. That's because the senior forward was not present at the game. Head coach Dana Ford did not give many details as to why, but said it's not an issue with law enforcement and Church was not sent home. The 6'8 senior from Springfield, Illinois has been a big part of this Bears team. He's been Missouri Valley All-Defense 2 years running and started every game this season before today. Here's Ford's full answer addressing Church's absence.
I think I can talk more about that after the break. In fairness to Obadiah, I need to sit down and have a conversation with him when the time is right. And I think after we have a conversation, I'll be able to comment on that situation further.
And other college hoops news tonight marked the 38th annual bragging rights game between Mizzou and Illinois Tigers, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak against the Illini. But that is easier said than done. First quarter, Mizzou down 2. Jordan Geist drains the step-back 3 for a Mizzou lead. Very next possession, Geist again, and the man is feeling it. Back-to-back triples. Tigers up 21-17. Jump to the second half. A wide-open Javon Pickett. He's going to connect for a 3 of his own. Pickett 7 of 8 on the night for 16 points. And just to cap things off, we go back to Geist, who had the high at 20 as Mizzou claims bragging rights over the Illini for the first time in half a decade. 79-63 the final. And some final news just happened a couple minutes ago. The Chargers falling to the Ravens 22-10. That is a huge result for the Chiefs. Gives them a little breathing room in that AFC playoff race.
Exactly. Well, congratulations to them.
Absolutely.
All right. And we'll be right back.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
All right, here's the final check of the forecast, Beth.
Things today were warm. It was sunny. Tomorrow we'll keep the sunshine, but we'll actually get colder. Temperatures are really going to struggle to get out of the 40s. Good news is the 50s return for your Christmas Eve and for your Christmas Day and Wednesday, Thursday. Bad news is that's when the showers come back Wednesday, Thursday, too.
And then we're going to have a colder weekend coming up.
Behind that is winter. There it is. I found it.
Well, thanks so much for joining us.